Welcome to the Foreign Investors on India's weekly report. This week we have India and Portugal taking up action-oriented approach to develop economic ties between the two countries. This was announced following the Portuguese Prime Minister's Antonio Costa's visit to New Delhi. During a meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the two leaders saw signing of 7 MOUs in various economic fields, including one on the defense sector. The MOUs, among others, would cover wind, solar, as well as infrastructure projects and the development of startups between the two countries. Modi said the startup initiatives between the two countries could be an exciting area to promote young entrepreneurships in the two countries. Announced during the Prime Minister Costa's visit was Hyderabad-based Aurobindo Pharma's acquisition of a Portuguese pharmaceutical companies. Aurobindo is paying €135 million for acquisition of Generis pharmaceutical company. This acquisition will give Aurobindo a strong foothold in European and Portuguese markets. India and Kazakhstan has amended its double taxation avoidance convention on 6 January in 2017. It was first signed in 1996. The DTAC is for the prevention of fiscal evasion related to taxes on income. Japan and the United Kingdom has again assured India of its commitment to support the country's smart cities development and urban development. Japanese ambassador to India, Hiramatsu, has told Venkaiah Naidu, the urban minister, that Japan has decided to associate with smart city development in Chennai, Ahmedabad, and Varanasi. Similarly, the UK High Commissioner to India has assured Naidu that the kingdom was keen in institutionalizing its government-to-government arranged agreements on developing smart cities and undertaking urban development in India. India is doing a good job on digitization of the economy and the system, but Ernst and Young's experts said India needs to do much more than that and accelerate its program. Ernst and Young's Ashish Pherwani has his views on how India should accelerate the digitization. He cautioned that young Indians will lose their jobs to automation and robotics unless the over-the-top counter type of systems are put in place across the country. We have Ashish sharing with us his views in the next clip and elaborating how competitive this world has become with internet, broadbands, and over-the-top systems that has accelerated information distribution and sharing of knowledge.
In every country, you will have several types of customers who will take to it. It's largely led by young customers today and the affluent customers.
Right.
Main reasons are that OTT has a cost of bandwidth, which is quite exorbitant in some countries.
Right.
And that cost of bandwidth therefore adds to the overall cost to the customer. So it's not just about paying so many dollars, $8 or whatever for content. You end up paying another $10 to $20 for the broadband to view the content.
Right.
So that becomes quite expensive. Now, compared to markets like the US, where the cable cost is $80 and $90, if you're paying $20, $25, it makes sense to move to OTT. But in countries like where the cable cost is $3 and $4, India being one of them, Indonesia, a large free-to-air market, being another of them, then does it make sense to actually for a customer to spend 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 times that amount at which he's getting regular TV and move to OTT? Therefore, the way that OTT will actually get adopted across different countries is going to be very different. In some countries where broadband is available and prices are lower than cable, there'll be a big shift to OTT.
Yeah. What is the future of OTT in India? Let's be focused on India.
Okay. So in India, I think there's definitely going to be a segment of customers who are willing to pay for broadband and who want their content when they want it, where they want it, and at what time they want it. So
Right.
those people are going to go and do it. Now, whether it's 0.5% of the country, 1% or 5%, time will tell. We'll see how it is. A lot depends, of course, still on the broadband cost.
Okay.
Because right now it's still pretty exorbitant. Having said that, there will be a whole second layer which will come into being, which may start watching some content, watch 2, 3, 4 episodes of a particular serial, and then agree to pay for it and move forward. So there's a whole sachet theory model in OTT which I believe will work.
Okay.
Where someone will take a lot of free content, but the minute he or she likes something, would be willing to pay more and get more of that particular type of content. And therefore, the freemium model in OTT will expand the OTT market initially over the next 3-4 years in a very big way.
Where is it the market now in India? Where is India with OTT?
So India is right now very nascent OTT market, if you ask me. We have Hotstar, we have Root, Ditto, and many other players in the market right now, and they're doing great work. Because you've got cricket on there, you've got kids content on there, you've got a whole bunch of very interesting television programs, and then you have Eros now kind of companies which have huge libraries of movies that you can watch. So all of them are making investments, and they're doing a lot of good stuff. The user experience has become much better, and customers are liking it. But again, it's coming back to the point that none of these are actually bundled with a good broadband plan, and therefore again the cost of ownership becomes a bit prohibitive. And therefore right now it's still going to be a niche game. But the minute that the content costs, the bundle costs come in, which are lower, where broadband starts subsidizing the content, I think the uptake is going to be significant.
When will that be?
So globally, there are 2-3 conditions when digital really takes off. One is about 50% of your country will be on smartphones, which I expect by about 2019, 2020. The second condition is that you're actually going to see a broadband penetration, good quality video broadband penetration of about 35%, which thanks to Jio is speeding up. Again, by 2019, 2020, I expect it to be there. The third factor, like I said, is parity between cable rates and digital rates. And that will happen, I think, only by 2022 or 2023. The jury is open on that. So my feeling is around 2020 and thereafter, you will see a big uptake of OTT.
Yeah. How much investment do you need in the broadband now?
Broadband for the country?
Yes.
Okay, lots of investment right now. Jio is doing a lot of it, so we should be happy. Airtel is doing a lot of it.
Development Bank of Singapore says it is focused on India for this year. It has major plans, and it believes that India, along with Indonesia, are the two of key markets that it will stay focused despite a slower economic growth elsewhere. CEO Piyush Gupta said, India and Indonesia will be a key area of focus in 2017. DBS is one of the biggest foreign banks with expansion plans across India in the coming year. South Korea's Samsung Electronics said it will introduce Samsung Pay, its smartphone-based service in India in the first half of this year. Samsung Pay is not just a payment system, but it is a everyday lifestyle system. Samsung Pay is already a popular mode of payment, a platform in a number of countries, including Malaysia, Thailand, China, and it will also be introduced in Britain in the first of this year. We end this report with an announcement from Tech Mahindra, which has formed a majority-owned joint venture in Saudi Arabia with Al Fosan Group. Named Tech Mahindra Arabia, the joint venture will work on localizing technology and building local professionals. Tech Mahindra will set up a delivery center at Al Khobar and has about 30 customers, mostly major corporations in Saudi Arabia. Al Fawzan is active in retail, manufacturing, and many other industries. We thank you for listening to us and hope to present you another report next week.